So, in the last class, we saw the different approaches toward learning. One we talked about is the supervised learning, in which you have both input as well as output present, and accordingly you design a parameter, design a method uh, to train the network using the difference in desired and the actual output which you get, and to reduce that error you have a kind of learning called supervised learning, or supervised learning, and that is what feed forward backpropagation networks are. Similar to, and another one, this we already saw this, and another one which we were talking about was unsupervised learning, in which we talked about that there is no output, or a desired output is obviously there for a network, but there is nothing like a desired output. So input output set is not there, you have only a input set, no related output is there, and from that input set you want to make out certain knowledge for that particular input. Now, in these two type of approaches of learning, we'll see certain, you can say, specific rules. They are called learning rules. So one or two rules we will see for what you call supervised learning, and a few rules for unsupervised learning. That will give you an example of how these rules are designed. There may be minor variations in these rules, and हेलो, नहीं मिला नहीं है। अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक 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 ठीक। So this the first rule you can see is perceptron learning rule, and this is a kind of rule which is supervised learning rule. You have this kind of a neuron, and that is perceptron. And here the weight correction algorithm, if you see, you can easily relate it to what we have done already. This is a discontinuous type of neuron, and you have a learning rule, the weight correction, that if you start the weights with randomly, and you randomly have weights, then you can correct those weights using this desired input. The output is written as the from here, and the input itself, xj. So desired output, actual output, and input will constitute a weight correction rule, or you can say a learning rule, according to which you can correct the weights. Okay, so this we have already seen somewhere. हाँ बोलो। हाँ, फैकल्टी वाइज किसके पास कितने हैं और कितने वैकेंसी। हाँ 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 हाँ। अच्छा, ठीक 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 ठीक। बस वही चाहिए था। ठीक ठीक। So sorry to bother you. So this is the supervised one, and then if you see, this we have already done earlier, similar kind of a rule which we applied for what we call delta learning rule, and the learning rule we saw in maybe the second or third lecture, in which we saw how they are connected, how they are corrected, the weights are corrected. So this is an example of supervised learning rule. Okay, so now let us see, as for example here, if you see, the problem for that can be designed a similar problem which we have already solved, and that is, these are the inputs and you want this to be desired output. So this is in perceptron form. Perceptron form means the neuron in perceptron, so it gives me output in terms of -1 or +1. And earlier it was a generalized Tansig neuron, and any value could be taken between 0 and 1. So this is what we have as a problem. This is the rule we have already seen. You can relate it to the earlier one. So this is also a supervised learning rule. Supervised learning rule. And in this supervised learning rule, if you see, again we have a weight correction rule because we have a desired input and the network output. So this constitute a error signal E, and this is the f dash net, that is the um, that is the um, that is the what you call derivative of the net signal, f net signal. Okay, so derivative of f net with respect to w, and this is the input. So based on this, if you take a bipolar activation function, then f dash net will again come in terms of output itself. So that is how a delta learning rule is designed. If you closely look into it, it is basically minimizing a function, minimizing the error function e square. Basically, this is like minimizing this error function. So e square can be minimized, or e square is basically the desired one minus the output, sum of this squared, because positive and negative errors are same. And when you differentiate it, the OI, the output is in terms of f dash net, and that is what you get here as a generalized rule. And depending on what you have, f dash, the neuron type, according to that neuron type you will get the f dash net, and accordingly you can design the delta wij, that is the weight correction rule. Now let us see another kind of rule which is unsupervised, and this we are going to do it for the first time. Earlier both the rules were quite intuitive and we have seen this in earlier classes also, but this is slightly interesting here because this is unsupervised learning rule. So here you have only x, that is the input to the network. Okay, I don't have it, but network gives me output depending on whatever weights I put over here. So this weight is OI, the output is OI, and if you see this WIJ, the weight correction rules, is governed by the output which I get, which is this one. It was not there with me earlier. It is the network output. XI is the data I have, input data, and according to these two, a learning rule is generated. हाँ नहीं अभी देख रहा हूँ, थोड़ा सा क्लास चल रही है, उसको खत्म करके देखते फिर देखते हैं. हाँ ओके ओके. So here this rule, if you see, is dependent on the output and the input only, and there is no desired no desired output for this particular network. And this is based on the activity of neurons, on this fact that when an axon of cell A is near enough to excite cell B. So if you have two neurons, okay, and this neuron always tries to the weight is this, and this neuron always tries to excite this, means tries to put output as 1, give the output as 1 repetitively, it does die like that. Then this weight is adjusted by itself in such a way that this excitation of this neuron is further enhanced. Okay, so that is what we are doing. We are trying to increase the weight if OI is high, and you are trying to decrease the weight rather when the OI is less. So input and output, if they are correlated, simple formula is if they are correlated or similar, the weights are increased. If they are dissimilar, then the weights are decreased. Similar and dissimilar means they are similar in size. Either input and output both are related, that both are excitation, both are going in the same sign, then delta wij will increase. If they are going in opposite sign, then if you say OI into xj would be having a negative sign, then delta wij would be decrease. So this is a kind of trying to find a kind of mm, weight and try to correlate the inputs and the outputs of a network. So to complete this sentence, when an axon of cell B is near enough to excite cell B and repetitively or persistently take place in firing it, some growth process or metabolic changes takes place in one or both the cells such that A's efficiency of firing cell B is increased. That is what we call the weights here. So this is increasing, that means that weight between A and B is increasing, between input and output is increasing. If they are not, then it is decreasing. So this is one kind of unsupervised network. Another kind of supervised network, unsupervised learning, is winner takes all. So here, if you here the number of input and number of outputs are same in this network. Okay, so if you see, the network would look like this. So if there are k inputs, there would be k outputs, and basically what we are trying to do here is um, if there are n input, they may be different. Sorry, it's not that at times they may be same or they may be different also. So what happens is, when you supply a particular input, and this all the input outputs or all the neurons would fire, and depending on the amount of output they gave, one of the neurons is declared as winner. So for example, for this particular input, say mth neuron is giving maximum output. Okay, say it is giving 1 and rest of them is giving something less than 1, all of them. So this is maximum and this is declared as winner. So the winner, what happens is, the weight corresponding to the winner neurons, all these weights would be incremented by a certain value. Okay, and that is what we do. If I have a second input and some other one becomes winner, so that, but for that particular input, that weights are increased by a very small amount. And this way, here also you don't have a desired output, only the inputs are there, and inputs are being classified. Okay, classified according to their inputs itself. On the neuron, one of the neurons, say mth, has a maximum response due to input X, the neuron is declared winner. As a result of this winning event, the weight vector, this, for that particular neuron, is only adjusted. The rest of the weights are kept as it is. So weight increment is given by this. If you see the difference in xj and wmij. So the difference is taken between the weight and the input, and with a very small value of alpha, you increment that particular weight. So that amount which I was talking about, that is delta wij, is dependent on how much is the input and how much is the particular weight itself, and depending on that difference, that weight is incremented. And this we have already talked about, that the selection of winner is dependent on which neuron fires the maximum. So these two are in fact unsupervised learning, that is winner takes all, and Hebbian learning. These two are unsupervised kind of learning, and this again, this is more general. It is same delta learning rule, but it is generalized. That means you have now multiple layers. Okay, so this is input layer, then hidden layer. We have already seen this, hidden layer 1. This is again hidden layer 2, then output layer here. So if there are multiple such things, then you come across a rule which is called generalized delta rule. And this I'm not going into details of this, because this involves certain mathematics which we have to follow very carefully. So putting that in just a slide would not be appropriate. So I'll request you to go through this derivation, full derivation, mathematical derivation, of this particular generalized delta rule, and try to derive yourself and look in for yourself, because there are certain mathematical details. But the general way in which it is derived is basically, if you see, what we are doing here is, again we are having error on the output, okay, that is the desired minus output. So this error is calculated, and this error square is to be minimized. That is the basic fundamental of this. Now when you have a single layer, it is easy to do this, because one set of weights are there on the input and hidden layer side, and that they are adjusted. If you have multiple layers, then this error, the correction of weight has to take place in each of the layer weights. Okay, all the layer weights are to be corrected, and for this particular output, this particular e square, that is error here, the certain amount of error is propagated, certain amount of correction is done in all the layers, and that how much correction is done is dependent on the error here itself and the distribution of errors among the various different hidden layer, and that distribution would depend on what was the weight themselves for that particular layer, what was the output of a particular the layer preceding it, and what was the input to it, and basically on that basis the you can say kind of weightages are corrected on each of the layer. So how that weightages are corrected are slightly complicated, and one can go through the mathematical details given in the book. I'll let you know those set of pages on which this mathematical details are given, and you can easily go through them. So I will end this part here. Thank you.